In the 2 days between crossing the border and arriving at your destination, Leo leaves the talking to you. I mean, I assume he speaks the language, but I don't think he's comfortable. Now, having successfully arrived at said destination, Heathworth, working on it, you immediately tidy yourselves up and go to present the declaration of truce to King Roland, which goes without a hitch. Really? Really? King Roland is well aware that the death of his father was a convenient excuse for both sides to back away from the war and greets Queen Eudocia's declaration of truce and proposed peace talks with what seems to be genuinely positive feeling. Wonderful. He even declares a masquerade ball to celebrate, which will take place in 4 days' time. Is that really historically? I was informed that my haphazardly constructed world isn't actually representative of any particular historical period, so if I want a masquerade ball, Rosamund, then a masquerade ball I shall have. You remember that my estate is hosting the peace talks and I'm on a deadline to get back to prepare? Yes, I remember. Now let's talk dresses. We have several dress options for the masquerade ball in your home country, and I'm thinking that your masquerade costume would make excellent cover art. I only actually brought one ball-appropriate dress, and shouldn't you finish writing the book first? It's important to think ahead. Now, if the words acres of leg and or bosom are about to cross your lips, I should warn you. Don't be silly. You don't even have acres of bosom. Yes, I am aware. I just wasn't sure if the cover artist was. Don't worry about it. Can you just pick something pretty but relatively practical? No weird cutouts, no thigh-high slits, just a nice formal dress that covers all my stretch marks and allows me to stash a large number of small weapons. Please? I think I have just the thing. Your cooperation fills me with terror. Really, you astonish me, because it means that there's something worse coming that you haven't told me about yet. In the days preceding the masquerade, the king's wife, Queen Catherine, my little sister, invites you to tea every day. Captain Collins is also invited, but attends only once. Yes, it was awkward watching him nod politely for 3 hours while Cat and I talked about babies. A bit, yes, but mostly boys. Interesting things our mutual acquaintances have done since the last time we met. Whatever. You're enjoying your time with your sister and baby niece on the afternoon of the ball when an assassin crashes through the window, weapons drawn. Cat, go! Your sister takes the baby and runs for the door. You are forced to use the weapons at hand, and so throw the knife and cheese board at the assassin before diving to your sister's bed and retrieving her sword. Don't move. The assassin was not expecting resistance and flings a knife at you, which embeds itself uselessly in the door as he makes his escape out the window. I've seen that knife before. Having just foiled an assassination attempt on your sister, Queen Catherine, you return to your rooms, your mind whirling. Caroline, I'm not seeing things, am I? That knife was my husband's. How mysterious. Nevertheless, the king insists that the ball must go ahead, though your sister will not be in attendance. Good. One less person to worry about keeping alive. Shortly thereafter, your hot-headed Captain Collins knocks on your door. Someone just tried to kill my sister. He smashed right through the window, even though we were several stories up, and you'd think someone would have spotted him climbing. Oh, picky. Leo. Something is very wrong here. You had better get ready for the ball. I guess it's time to find out exactly how many weapons I can hide in that dress. Ready for the masquerade, Rosamund? I'm almost done. Time's a-wasting. It's fine. I'm ready. It's difficult to stash a lot of weapons while still making them easy to access. Oh, you look beautiful. Thank you. Though it would probably be more of a compliment if we didn't have exactly the same face. This is a strong contender for the cover art. Possibly the scene where... Oh, you'll find out. Oh, good. Come in. Whoever could that be? Good evening, Captain. So you're not going to be surprised that the mysterious stranger you feel like you've known for years is actually Leo, then? No. Oh, shall we? Oh, I'm so excited. Captain Collins sticks unusually close to you as you enter the masquerade. Well, like I said, I don't think he's particularly keen on the language. And you're escorted to the dais to greet the king, who is tall and imposing in a black cloak and helmet. Your Majesty. You don't initially participate in the dancing, choosing instead to keep an eye on the king, but then you are approached by a mysterious stranger who you apparently recognize whether or not half his face is covered, but then you have known him since you were 7 years old. Your hot childhood best friend requests the next dance. Captain Collins, some distance away, looks perturbed. He doesn't need to worry, I'm still going to keep an eye on the king while I'm dancing. Yes, that's definitely what he's concerned about. When did you get here? Quite recently. Queen Eudocia sent him 2 days after your departure in case you didn't arrive. We nearly didn't. Captain Collins had to fish me out of the river, among other delights. He glances over at Captain Collins. Oh, have you met? Yes, when he visited Baron Mabry's estates, Captain Collins is, or was, an officer in his militia. Oh no. You abandon your hot childhood best friend mid-dance and go and speak to the king? I fear you're in grave danger, Your Majesty. Wait, what? Roland, what do you know about Baron Mabry? Fine. Even though it is a highly inappropriate time to ask, you are his sister-in-law and you did just save his wife's life, so he tells you what he knows, including his suspicions about the circumstances of your husband's death. I think I'm going to be sick. I tell him what I know. Rosamund, my escort Captain Collins used to work for the Baron, and may still. I don't think if he knows about the peace talks. I need to get home now. Rosamund, what is wrong with you? You're supposed to be dancing with Captain Collins. I queued up my Waltzing with Your Hot Enemy playlist and everything. What are you doing? I'm going home. Yes, you said, but why? Because I think I understand now. Well, I don't. None of this is in the outline. Rosamund, please stop running out on my masquerade ball. Caroline King Rowland suspects Baron Mabry of arranging my husband's murder in an attempt to keep the war going. And presumably also to steal his land. Yes. And when Hugo's body was returned to us, his knife wasn't among his effects. Following you so far? So is it merely the veriest coincidence that Captain Leo Collins, formerly of Baron Mabry's militia, is here when an assassin tries to kill my sister using my dead husband's knife, presumably in an attempt to implicate me? Rosamund, or might it be reasonable to suspect that Leo Collins is a traitor to the realm who only saved my life so he could use me later? Is that why you're stealing his horse? If the Baron already knows about the peace talks, everyone under my roof is in danger. I might already be too late. And I had such a beautiful evening planned. Candlelight, dancing, flirtatious threats. And what do I get? Grand Theft Equine. It's a few hours after sunrise and you're on the road heading home in a hurry, with your own horse plus the one you stole from your hot enemy. He's not going to need it. I can't believe you told King Roland he was a spy. I can't believe I didn't realize this before. You even called him my hot enemy. Why didn't I see it? You can't know things in the story until you actually work them out. That's just how it is. Besides, I wasn't anticipating this at all. This wasn't how the masquerade was supposed to go. What, was I supposed to be stupider? Frankly, yes. Not sorry. Wouldn't have expected you to be. It was a great dress, though. It was nice. Yes, that's what Leo said about all of them. Pardon? Never mind. Did you at least bring it with you? Yes, everything else was already packed, so I just shoved it in at the top. I still don't understand why you didn't wait for King Roland to provide an escort. I think I'm safer on my own right now. I was really hoping your bad decisions arc would be more romantically related, but here we are. After a few days of reasonably rapid travel, you arrive at the bridge that will take you home. Unfortunately, it will also take you onto Baron Mabry's lands. Very briefly, I'll be on home ground in a few hours. The bridge is heavily guarded. News of the truce has reached the town, but everyone is still being heavily questioned before being allowed to cross, and many people are being turned away. What alternatives are there to the bridge? After a short journey upstream, you consider shooting an arrow across the river with a string attached. Ordinarily, I would ask where the bow came from, but right now I just don't care. My editor would never let it slide anyway. He's a total stickler. I see. Since no other method presents itself, you return to the town, intent on getting a few hours' sleep before attempting to sneak across the bridge when it's full dark. Fine. But just as you are crossing the stable yard, a pair of strong arms grab you from behind. A hand is clapped over your mouth and you are dragged into the shadows. It seems your hot enemy and hot childhood best friend have caught up with you. I'm just going to let you explain, because I have barely slept in 3 days. So in short sentences, please. What do you want? The same thing you do. To inform Queen Eudocia of what you've learned. To make the peace talks happen. For Queen and country, Rosie. Oh no. And the penny drops. You're a spy. You're both spies, and you went to spy on the Baron, not for him. And thanks to you telling King Roland, Robin had to effect daring rescue, and both of them need to leave the country in a hurry. Then we all need to go to the same place. Can you help me? Well, since Captain Collins used to work for Baron Mabry, he still knows many of the soldiers. So you can sneak me across? Sneaking is probably not going to work, but it is convenient that you have that white gown in your saddlebag. Excuse me? I think it's time for a good old-fashioned fake wedding. Fine. Caroline, I know how much you want this fake wedding. I feel a but coming. But I have another idea. Is this a run out of my masquerade without drawing a single knife kind of idea, or one I'll actually like? Robin now knows the grounds on which the Baron is planning to challenge my administration of the Hawkhurst estate. Which are? My marriage contract. Ah. All the couples entered into the arranged marriages with the understanding that they would retain their citizenships and any children would be citizens of both countries in an attempt to maintain peace and goodwill. Well, I suppose you didn't go to war for a good 15, 16 years? Indeed. But the fact remains I'm not a citizen, and while under normal circumstances an exception could be made, the fact that we're technically still at war... Ah, he's going to disrupt the peace talks, claim I'm a citizen of a hostile power, and then generously offer to marry you. He had my husband murdered, Caroline. I know you're keen on enemies to lovers, but that is not happening. So what's your alternative? I'm going to get married. Wait, what?